There have been dozens upon dozens of fights in anime this decade. The 2010s were filled with some of the most incredible animes that we are sure everyone enjoyed. When it comes to the big fights, there's no denying that we had our fill, especially from the shonen department of anime. In fact, the 2010s arguably had the best fights we have seen with several new animes, such as My Hero Academia, The Attack on Titans, and the Naruto finally coming to close. So to praise this amazing anime fights from amazing animes, in this video we are going over top 10 most epic fight scenes from different animes from last decade. So without any further ado, let's start with our video. And just a friendly reminder that these fights are not in any particular order. So without any further ado, let's start with our video. On the 10th number, the fight is between Mob vs Koyama from Mob Psycho 100. One of the most incredibly choreographed fights that we saw in the decade was Mob's clash against Megumu Koyama. Although nearly every fight in Mob Psycho 100 is spectacular, to say at least, the staff went extra mile for the Mob vs Koyama fight, and a passionate and talented bunch of animators delivered quite a strong punch of action as Mob went 100% animosity against Koyama. The incredible clash between these two powers concluded with Mob smashing his opponent into the ground after lifting him several hundred feet in the sky. On the 9th number, the fight is between Jotaro vs Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. With JoJo's Bizarre Adventure making a return in early 2010, new life was breathed into Araki's series. And it is safe to say that this show has constantly been delivering some of the best fights in anime over the past 8 years. Undoubtedly, the most iconic fight of all JoJo's fights is Jotaro clash against Dio in Stardust Crusader. Having lost Kakyoin, Jotaro saw to it that Star Platinum evolved to a level beyond Dio's The World. This clash not only showed us how ferocious the powers of Stand was, but it also efficiently put an end to the charismatic villain for good. On the 8th number, the fight is between Netero Vs Meruem, easily one of the best fights that we have seen in shonen. Netero vs Meruem saw the Chimera Iron arc reach sky-height levels. This arc got stuck up in the hearts of the fans. Although there was a quite huge difference of powers between the two, the fight was choreographed beautifully, and it did also well to showcase the level of skills that Meruem possessed. Nonetheless, Netero's power were superb as well, and it was only due to his sacrifice that Meruem was finally put to bed. On the 7th number, the fight is between Naruto vs Sasuke from Naruto Shippuden, the final fight. The fight that nearly every fan was waiting for finally took place at the Valley of the End over the course of 2 episodes back in 2016. Naruto's fight against Sasuke was inevitable, and Studio Period delivered in the most extraordinary of ways. Thanks to some of the best animators such as Hiroyuki Yamashita, Naruto vs Sasuke goes down as quite possible the best fight of the decade. Although opinion may differ, this fight ends up with Naruto and Sasuke blowing each other's arm off, Sasuke conceding to Naruto that accepting his way of peace for good. On the 6th number, the fight is between Saitama vs Lord Boros from One Punch Man. A list of best anime fights of the decade couldn't be possibly not have Saitama's epic clash against Lord Boros. Just like every other episode of One Punch Man, episode 12 of the series was a marvel. Although thanks to the director, many big names animators were attracted to the project to make it a memorable fight. With a magnificent staff, Saitama vs Boros gave us some of the most high quality actions that we have seen in anime fights so far, with big names such as Yutaka Nakamura, Kameda, and among many others working on the episode. It's no wonder that Saitama's drubbing of Boros makes our list of the best anime fights of the decade. On the 5th number, the fight is between All Might vs All for One from My Hero Academia. Among the many fights from My Hero Academia, All Might vs All for One certainly stands out the most because of the significance of the fight to the story and also the emotional weight that it carries. It goes without saying that All Might vs All for One was a marvel from start to finish. Although this fight wasn't as visually appealing as some of the others on the list, the weight it carried was certainly just as good. A fight that marked the end of All Might and All for One is certainly fitting to be put out on this list. On the 4th number, the fight is between Goku vs Jiren from Dragon Ball Super. With the return of Dragon Ball in 2010, it was only a matter of time before Goku ran into another immovable object. This time around, it was none other than Jiren, a monsterly powerful being from Universe 11. In the Tournament of Power, Goku took it upon himself to defeat Jiren and save his universe from erasure. In doing so, he not only bore the fate of universe on his shoulders but also gained even greater power in Ultra Instinct. Once again, there was a great emotional weight behind Goku's fight against Jiren, and the animation was spectacular as well. Some of the Toei's biggest stars such as Naotoshi Shida, Yongse-tu and Naoki Tate made sure to burn this fight in our eyes, and we are sure that it will be there forever. On the third number, the fight is between Monkey D. Luffy vs Charlotte Katakuri from One Piece. With One Piece aging closer towards its end with each passing year, Luffy's journey keeps on getting even tougher. Whole Cake Island saw Luffy take on his biggest challenges of all time in the form of Charlotte Katakuri. With the faith of the crew resting on his victory, Luffy had no other choice but to defeat Katakuri, and he did in quite some style. The fight was an animation marvel that took months of hard work from people at Toei Animation, who unfortunately do not get enough credit. But we couldn't be happier with the result. It was an episode that we saw some big names animators return to One Piece, such as Naotoshi Shida, Kodai Watanabe and Tu, among many others. The brilliant action choreography and the feel of the fight are what makes it creep into our list on the top 10 best fights of the decade. On the second number, the fight is between Levi vs the Beast Titan from Attack on Titan, being arguably the best anime of the decade. Or should we call this fight as the Beast Levi vs a Titan? It's not a shocker that Attack on Titans features some of the most incredible fights that we have seen recently. While there certainly are many to pick from, we feel Levi's clash against Zeke was quite incredibly animated, thanks to our hours and hours of efforts of staff at Weeb Studio. The fight opened up with the death of Erwin Smith, who used his body as a shield to open up the path for Levi to strike down the Beast Titan. And of course, Levi did what he said. In a beautifully animated cut by the legendary Arifumi Imai, we saw Levi chopping up the Beast Titan into several pieces as he ensured the Erwin's sacrifice wasn't in vain. So before moving to the first number on this list of the best fight of the anime from the last decade, I would like you guys to please subscribe to my YouTube channel because I post daily anime content about top 10 top 5 listings, anime reviews, recommendations and all sort of anime content on daily basis. And without any further ado, let's see which fight is at the number 1. On the first number, the fight is between Naruto and Sasuke vs Momoshiki Otsutsuki from Boruto, the Naruto's next generation. Although Boruto may not be as popular as Naruto once was, there is no denying that some of the fights that it featured have been the downright mind-blowing. One of the such fights was when Naruto and Sasuke clashed against Momoshiki Otsutsuki in Boruto episode 65. The episode is widely considered to be animation marvel because of how beautifully the fight looked. Thanks to some of the most creative storyboarding and direction from Pierrett's rising talent, the episode blew away every single fan of Naruto and not only delivered some great action but also made sure that we got a sudden hit of nostalgia. With Naruto and Sasuke combining to defeat Momoshiki, the final scene wonderfully displayed the passing of the torch from the old generation to the new generation. And it remains one of the reasons why we still hold Boruto in the high regard. So as you saw on the first number of the list, the fight was between Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki Otsutsuki. So that was for the video guys. If you enjoyed this video, just don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel because I post, as I said, daily anime content, and like this video and comment down below which is your favorite fight out of this list. And that was it, and I will see you in the next one. Sayonara.